Good evening. Happy Sunday, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another episode of Tech Stack Reimagined, building out the ultimate AI native workspace. Now, no longer AI powered, Nico, AI native. How you doing, man?
Doing well, doing very well. Um, Feeling good despite recent events, but yeah, yeah, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
The transition is here. Uh, that's for sure. Um, Doing well, doing well. Got to some building today,
Yep.
continuing to get the apartment ready for when Isabel comes back on Wednesday, and I'll have to remember what it's like to live with somebody else, um, which is a good thing. Look forward to that structure, um, but still trying to build out some structure with our AI friends and AI organization as well. Um, So that's been fun too. A lot has happened in the last month, yeah?
Just a bit, right? Like, I mean, oh my gosh, we've gone from people not really paying attention, kind of gone from people not even really knowing what Claude was, right? I would say like at the start of the year, really. And then almost since like a bit before Super Bowl, right? Because like Claude Code was like a big thing for us, but there wasn't this transition, right? It didn't bridge the gap. It just got us because we were willing to take the dive. And then leading up to the Super Bowl, it was just like, man, what is this thing? Like this is getting crazy. People are doing some really crazy stuff, right? And then you get the Deirdre Bosa thing and the whole Monday.com, and then you get the which actually you get the I can't remember now which one happened first, whether it's like that or Super Bowl, right? Like it's right in that pocket um where all of this happens, and then SaaS apocalypse starts, and all of a sudden people start paying attention and they're like, well, what is causing this thing? And they take a look, and after lifting out all the rubble, it's one AI tool that is just upsetting the entire like market, right? And I think it's pretty funny because this show started as a result, as a direct result of that tool. That was the entire reason behind this show was, man, quad connectors are so crazy and it's so nuts what you can do with this thing that they are revolutionizing the tech stack. And we have to do a separate show talking about just how much tech stack is not going to be what you thought it was. It's just going to be like, to me, it's plugins. Your tech stack is Claude now, and everything else is just a plugin. Supabase plugin, HubSpot plugin, whatever it is, plugin. And I don't know. I'm not sorry it's reduced to that. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like it doesn't. And the only reason like you're not gonna find me having any sort of emotions towards it is because we've again the show is based on it. We have been talking about it for a year at least. And B, it's evolution. It's going to happen. It's naturally going this direction. You can't stop it. So there's no point in being like, "Oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to fight against it?" No, there is no fighting this river. This isn't a it's a tsunami. It's not a river, right? And us over here in the US, we've never had to face a tsunami before. But oh boy, if we did, then it would have the exact same, we'd all be just shitting bricks the exact same way. Oh my God, did you see how high it was? It just took the whole thing. It's the whole scenario is happening right now. I'm watching it. I'm watching people just shit bricks left and right. oh my God, it's going to take jobs. It's going to take trucks. Like some this karaoke company. Karaoke company out of nowhere, fully out of left field, basically just throws the most massive kink into the trucking industry that you could possibly imagine. You would think that it would have been automated driving. No, this guy just managed to randomly working with Claude come up with this great means of distribution and changed like the way in which trucking distribution can work, right? Just the
What
whole
happened?
system.
I'm not familiar with this
Oh
case
man,
study.
I have to share this story.
But underneath all this, like the reason this is happening, and the reason we've been talking about this, like all AI is doing right now, and Claude specifically, these Claude builds, it's making good on the promise of SaaS without compromise, right? Like to be able to build a single surface to do all of your work in that one space, that one window, like the amount of expense behind setting up, like the SAPs and like the full business platforms,
Mhm.
right? Super expensive, not a high success rate, and you always had to compromise, which meant there was always some other apps involved, right? And even then, like you would have to go out to those apps. You wouldn't be able to bring them in to the platform.
Mhm.
And now you don't have to compromise, and you still like, and that means you still use these apps that we're referring to as plugins now, if you want, like if the data is already there, right? If it makes sense to add that in, which guess what? Claude helps you make decisions like that. Um, yeah, but like coming at it from the perspective of like, hey, Claude, I want to work in this one space. Help me make it happen. Like, here's APIs. Here's what do you need? What do you need me to do? And then I'll be here, like waiting for you to be done with that.
Right.
Like, and that's why, I saw a post today from Peak Buddha about like, oh man, it's the same problem I've been having in terms of like, I can't wait until we can call the command line something else and the terminal something else and CLI. Like, because it's a very real visceral reaction. If you know what those things are and you're not a developer, it's like, yeah, not me. That is not me. I'm not gonna go over there. Right. Meanwhile, like the command line is now like a DM like message line, right?
Mhm.
It's just you're talking to AI instead. And what he was saying was that like that Anthropic has missed the boat on making on forcing us to go into the command line. And it's like, bro, like SaaS had their chance to figure out UI, right? UI is not solving the problem right now. Conversational experience is, right? Wherever you can get it. And command line happens to be at the place where Claude is at his most, agile and most powerful. So when you can remove that piece of friction, which is 100% mindset, it removes the friction everywhere else, right? And like this idea that we somehow need to make the experience, like, I'm sorry, like UI in this case, right? And we've seen it. Like, this is what AI native activation is. Like, if you just get over this one hump of getting comfortable in this space where everybody is like in their most powerful stance, all of a sudden, like, so many SaaS promises are now being delivered on, and not just for the sake of adoption, actually real problems getting solved too, right? Not just
Yeah.
to sell software, not
Right.
just to sell implementations or service contracts, but actually solving problems. And when people get it in their hands, they solve those problems, right? And it's a beautiful thing to see.
It's I don't know. It's jaw dropping for a lot of people from the outside. We've been talking about how much this technology levels the playing field, how it basically um, introduces a gaming mechanic that we haven't seen yet, but we're now watching, which is min maxing, where basically the effect of that is you come into the game with a well-established minimum and you understand exactly where the maximum is. There is no like guessing game. Everything is just auto calculated out. Here's you here's what you get, here's your base minimum. And if you follow steps, 1 through 10, you get maximum. You don't have to do anything else. There's no difficulty required. You just have to do steps 1 through 10, right? Um, in this particular case, steps 1 through 10 are becoming crazy, crazy easy because of AI, and the minimum is increasing. Um, Even though it doesn't seem like it because there's just tremendous job loss and everything, you know, calamity happens before recreation. It's a thing. There's a cycle. We're going to have to go through it. It's evolution. When it comes down to how this affects business, I'm watching two things happen. I'm watching some businesses just completely demolish themselves from the inside by just firing people for no reason, really. And then I'm watching other businesses understand what's happening and implementing the technology in a way that their employees understand it and filtering it down to a degree where the business itself is, you could say, like auto expanding, right? At the same exponential rate as whatever the employees are capable of doing, right? There are only a few of them, only a handful right now, but there are some companies that are starting to take a new shape and a new form. Again, there are some leaders that understand this stuff, even though they seem a little bit off the wall. Definitely the type of people to be looking into, right? Where, in terms of what your job is in the org, because of this capability, and again, because now all things are equal, it is the case where there's now job fluidity. And I'm not saying that this is, I mean, it may become commonplace. I don't know, right? But it could very well be the case. It's a step towards, I like it. It's a step towards the Star Trek universe. It's, we got to get there eventually. It very much could be the case that essentially you go by, instead of job title, you just go by sort of level related to skill level involved with AI. And so there is no job title. There's just job, and you just do the work that you are most interested in doing with AI at the level that you are capable of doing it. And so you get paid at that level.
Yeah, all capability.
It is, I know that's the, again, it's the most radical concept, right? I think there's only like 3 companies that are actually even doing it. And they're not doing it in terms of like, hey, come work and you pick what you want to work as. It's more like internally, they're allowing restructure to happen naturally based on people being able to capture this skill. And so because of it, Alex Karp was saying the same thing, that like, hey, look, we have to change the way in which we're doing measurements. We have to change how we're, this whole like idea of KPIs and measured factors and IQ and all this stuff. It's like, it's got to go out the window. You got to figure out a new method of doing this. And to me, this makes perfect sense, because if you're using AI, the only thing that matters is how well you know how to use it. The job, like, the job type still matters. I'm only talking about white collar work. I'm only talking about information labor, like marketing labor. Let's stay on the same page. I'm not trying to say we replace doctors. Um, but in terms of like, even when it comes to like lawyers, right? Obviously, there's a lingo and a terminology and stuff that goes on there that, whatever, there's an experience that needs to be had that is required within that space. But especially with what we do in terms of being partners or being in the agency space, that's something where everybody kind of has a really good understanding of everybody else's role, to the degree that you could even be at an agency or a partner or whatever and be able to say like, "Ah, yeah, like I took the job doing this, but I'd rather be doing that." Right. But unfortunately, my job title is this. So I can only do this. And that the title means I'm only experienced in that. And my pedigree equals this. So I can only ever be this. I can't ever be that. It sounds like what? It sounds like a fairy tale, right? Aren't fairy tales supposed to be fake? It's make believe. That's not how life is supposed to be, right? But it turns out that's how life exactly is. Like you totally get screwed and pegged into one space, right? And so now that's no longer the case going forward. Like especially after this year, I don't care what you guys think. I really don't. You might think that I'm crazy. It won't matter. By the end of this year, you won't think I'm crazy anymore. You'll wonder what the hell college is going to be for at all. I don't know what like schools are going to do necessarily. They'll figure it out. People will still go. There will still be schools in the same way that there are still libraries, right? There's still bookstores. Like people still go do these archaic things. It happens.
That was a good episode of the Moonshots recently about new schools and how they're teaching kids in like 2 hours of instruction, and it's just everything. The way it's built is the way that the system is built is, um, not. It's been known for a long time. Actually, it's not conducive to learning. Right, teacher in front of the classroom, a bunch of kids, and yeah, it was very interesting to hear um, what's possible there, and like already seeing it at the college level. Um, but everybody I talked to in terms of like playing the resume game, like, and this is where like until you see leaders change this part, which they kind of already they do unintentionally, like when somebody is active on social and has created a personal brand for themselves,
Mhm.
and that allows them to like bypass like the usual resume because they're getting recruited instead. Like they're getting recruited usually has nothing to do with the resume and everything with what they're building like on a daily basis. And that's the new resume. Like what have you built? Right? You've got access to the most intelligent like technology at the most affordable price ever. What have you done with it? Answer can't be nothing. Like, and if it is nothing, like it forces you into the resume game, which is still, it's just so out of date. Like, and that's where not even with AI, with this other place, like it's been obvious for a while that you could bypass it through building your own personal brand. That's the whole, like one of the whole points, right? And so, like to put these pieces together, it shouldn't be hard. But that's where like the people that are have the job openings like aren't saying this is how we're going to hire yet. So it's still this cycle of just traditional inefficiency, we'll
Mhm.
say, right? So you, but again, like it's never been easier to build stuff and show people all over the place what you built and blow minds. Is that what this use case is if we get into it? Like,
I
say a
mean,
karaoke company
it's
changed
it's
the
kinda.
trucking industry?
Yeah, yeah. Um, so it's I mean, you know, karaoke company. It's an algorithm company, right? Or at least that's what it currently is. So it's not like it's not a karaoke company that does this on the side or something like that.
Right.
It
Algorithm.
used to be, right? So the guy used to be a karaoke company owner and um, decided, hey, let's go from karaoke machines into AI freight technology, right? And ended up coming out with a statement where he said that it would be possible for him to reduce deadhead empty miles by 70%, which, if you don't understand what deadhead it means the amount of mileage that you drive without freight in the truck. So you're not actually transporting anything, you're not making money, it's just complete loss. Scale freight volume by 3 to 400% without adding staff, and address systemic unused capacity in trucking networks. And that was just through, just a 10-page white paper claiming that it's possible for the platform that they put together to do that. Right. Just just utter fallout. Like the worst day in trucking stock history, I think. Something like that. I don't know entirely, but all I know is shit hit the fan. Yeah, no. Um, so yeah, there's really no telling where it's going to come from. There's no telling how exactly the markets are going to get upset. Um, Now, what's interesting about it is that none of this says anything about layoffs. None of it says anything about like automated vehicles. It's just a matter of like
Yeah.
changing how they're like changing the process. It's something that, again, like me and Chris talk about all the time. It's got nothing to do with like actually automating away anything so much as using the automation to figure out where the gaps are currently so that you can actually just get rid of those gaps and fill it in, right? So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why that scares. So to me, like I read the story and I'm like, I don't really understand why the trucking industry took a hit, because it sounds like to me that this company ought to be getting a huge boost, and that trucking companies should be getting a boost as opposed to taking a hit. Like I couldn't figure it out, because it's like, wait, this guy just said that he's about to put together something that could make trucking companies more efficient, make them more money. Like I'm not seeing the negative basically. I didn't understand where it was like, oh no, this is a terrible, negative to freight companies. Okay. Like really? Um
If I had
and
to
it's like
if I had to
it's
hazard a guess, it would be because the current companies in the space are not going to be able to move fast enough to leverage this. And like the Elons of the world
with the
are just,
electric car. Yep.
yeah, they're just ready, right? Like, and I think in lots of these cases, um,
Because that's the thing is like, so I hate like I hate to say this kind of stuff, but it's the whole point behind this technology. And people are starting to ask me this question over and over again now, and it's fine. I have the answer for you. Um, I'm not saying that you'll like it, but I have it. Um, it's a case of like, okay, well, to your point, if they figured out this new method for Aurora, That's just a matter of plug and play. Like, hey guys, new technology from this company. We're going to be plugging there. We're going to just whatever, connect our stuff to their stuff. Zip zap. All of a sudden, our trucks are moving more efficiently. Right? There's no like, all right, everybody, bring it in. Come on, let's get the union in and send out the memos and the emails and the text messages and make sure everybody's on the same page and write it in triplicate and 80 different formats. Put it up on the website and make sure it's up on the website too. And have everybody sign off on it. We'll get a digital signature from everybody and pass it up to corporate. Make sure it passes it and come back on down. And we'll make the decisions. And 8 months from now, we'll roll it out. Right? Like they don't have to do that. They just have to say like, oh, that's cool. Like that's what I wish you guys could like watch what it looks like me and Chris and George working, because it is literally a case of like, hey, you know what would be cool is if we could do this. I've seen that over there. You know what? Grab that and just put that in here. And then it just happens.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how it is. That's how the tech is going to be for these guys. It's just a matter of like, oh shit, you figured out like a new methodology of doing that. Cool. Incorporate that into what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's as simple as it could be. Like when, like, this is what we mean by the phrase AI native, right? Like AI native means any type of AI development, like as that technology moves faster than anything ever, like you get to benefit. Like you are ready. Like you get to benefit because you're ready to benefit from it. Right? Like you get to, like what Nico's saying is we share screenshots in the Slack and it's like basically, oh, that looks cool. Hey Claude, let's build it over here. And then Claude's like, okay, yeah, that looks good, but we've already done these two things. And let's change these three things a little bit to match what we've already done over here. And then these four are brand new. I love it. We're going to build those, right? Over and over and over. Right. And it's not, let me check in with a team of 10, right? And then make sure they're like the team of 10 is becoming the AI team of 10.
Yep.
Right. Like, and it's on the table for every company. I was watching the Dario interview with I think it was 60 Minutes from yesterday, and the concept of like of how fast this technology is moving, and who's capable of making decisions based on what they know about the technology, and the concept of how far behind Congress might be came up. He mentioned you only have to catch up one time. Like it's once. Like no matter when it is, until you do, you're going to get farther and farther behind. But just once to like implement this stuff, and like half of it's mindset, right? You just have to like get on board one time and you can catch up immediately.
It is.
So it's on the table. Every single company, again, it's can you manage your humans through this transition? That's what it comes down to. But it's available to every single company. Like that's how accessible it is.
And I mean, to illustrate that, Chris didn't even know about this, so this is what's hilarious. In preparation for this week, launching a bunch of stuff, new venture and everything like that, decided to put together like just a state of go to market and where things are at now with AI and agents and the use of all this agentic software and what it's doing and how it's helping and all of that. And the number one message that comes out of it is, hey, if you haven't like it, what's crazy is last year when we were saying like, hey, if you don't move from the chatbot to this agent stuff, you don't know what to tell you. And now it's, hey, if you don't move from the agent stuff to the multi-agent orchestration systems, don't know what to tell you, right? The Here's what I can tell you, and I know what it, I know it sounds counterintuitive to Chris. We don't always agree, folks. Take it easy. Um, uh, it's getting harder. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know it doesn't, and they're trying to make the technology easier. I can guarantee you that. It's definitely getting harder to get good at it. It's real easy to get into it. I'll tell you that much. So easy. Like right now, it's starting to feel like video games to me.
Yeah.
And it's reminding me of when I was in my heyday of Street Fighter and everything. And like, well, I was not really that great at that. So I'm going to go to World of Warcraft because I was better there. But it's that thing, like in the back of my mind is this thing of like, okay, well, that was a heyday. Eventually, my ability to keep up kind of just ran out. How far could that possibly last in this moment, right? Um, I can definitely tell you that it is at the point now where if I'm talking to you about AI, it's your first time, you've never done anything, you've just started using ChatGPT or whatever, you will not, there's no way we won't be able to, we're going to have a completely different conversation and you'll never hear about any of the stuff that we talk about here because it won't make any sense to you. Like it's at the point where you have to have frameworks. You have to have an understanding of a framework of where these things fit into place.
Yeah.
Um,
Like we've had enough
yeah,
time to build like human domain expertise as it relates to working with AI. And like you remind me of my days playing Magic where like it was easy to participate. You go to tournaments and then some days you might do well. Most days pretty average, at least for me. And then there was a pro tour. It was really hard to get to the pro tour and
mhm,
qualify, right? And I, for whatever reason, wasn't willing to put the work in and couldn't like reach that level, like people that were right next to me that were doing it, right? And so while it is, but that's the thing, even there, like it's a mindset shift in terms of like it's just time, like of learning how to have the conversations you need to have
yeah,
with AI. And that's where it is a different muscle. Like you've never been able to talk to technology like in this way and like understanding when to trust yourself versus when like you're experiencing, you know, your biases, training data biases. Like I'm doing a thing right now, like where you built out a bunch of stuff. I'm giving it to my team to build out.
mhm,
And like as V evaluated everything, he's like, "Oh, we got this and this and this already, and this is already active." And it's like just because it's documented in the system doesn't mean it's working every damn time, right? And if you
right.
don't know to call that out, like it's like assumptions get made. Like they only have access to so much, and it allowed me the opportunity to say, "Look, man, this is the example of why we need to solve for this." Like, unless I am working with you for 10 hours on a Sunday, that's the only time I've achieved like true continuity,
Mhm,
right? But when we close sessions and open sessions, like I've got to correct, I've got to remind, right? And, it's again, just like the humans that we implement for, like it comes down to visibility. Like, do you know what has happened, what hasn't happened? Like, um, what we've been planning. Like, so that's kind of the level that we're at, like building out these infrastructures, which is like I mean, I'm pulling in slides from like 2010 and or 2020 and 2021,
mhm,
where I was like, I built all this out to lead like digital transformation in an organization and wasn't able to execute any of it. So it's like these two things together, it's like, let's go because I don't have any of the politics, uh, to get in the way. But it doesn't mean like just because it's AI and just because it's AI native that we're gonna just recreate all of the wheels,
Right.
right?
Right.
But it's clear that like I've gotten comfortable because when I can go to V or Sage or PAX because of the topic that I want to talk about, because there's an identity, because there's a body of work, because there's focus, right? Those outcomes are better, right? Instead of just going to Claude and say, hey, let's work on this today, right? And then he goes and does a search of the repo, and it's like, oh, you almost found everything. Yeah, you actually need to look at this file too, and then this file. And no, remember, we corrected it last time. I guess it didn't make it back like into the file, right? And
Okay.
that's so that's all learning curve, and um, but it's available. Like if you allow yourself, and that's where I don't want to get into the debate around vibe coding CRMs, but there's 2 points that I think, and this is why I don't like the narrative altogether. Like 2 points being completely missed. Like 1, it's never gonna be worse than it is right now. So, well, for some businesses, maybe it's not the smartest thing to just go plug it in right now for all the reasons that we're talking about right now, right? And then just rely on it wholesale, just like you wouldn't just plug and play HubSpot and just be like, all right, set up, let's go, guys.
Mhm.
Um, like that 3 to 6 months, we're going to get closer and closer to that being possible, where you just say, like, look, here's all the data, here's all the spots for the data. Like, go get it, build it out, and you're going to be good. The second point is the process of trying to do it is so educational, right? It's one of the best ways to learn. Like AI, like find a use case that you're like, man, I just want CRMs to be better.
Yeah.
And then just start talking to AI about it and start building it out. And like you'll start to get into decisions that you have to make. And like not only will you get better at like talking to AI, you'll get better at building stuff. Right.
Sure.
And those two elements like are being completely missed and are detrimental, in my opinion, for anybody that says, oh, yeah, don't do that. Like how many people are actually vibe coding CRMs to implement at their business? Like
Not many.
not many. Okay.
Not yet. I mean, but here's the thing. So, okay. And this is it's something to take into account because of the fact of like how fast it happens. Um, one of the top growing companies that you can possibly be in the world nowadays is a software company. That's one of the top companies that you can be, right? Everybody needs software. Every computer needs it. Every phone needs it. Everyone wants it in one way or another. I don't even know. People keep talking about like, oh, but how many different meeting recorders could we really have that much use for? I don't know. How many different versions of what is it? Bejeweled could we possibly need? I'm not sure, but we still have like over 100, right? If you go and you search on mobile games, I'm sure like just that style of game probably has its own category, right? I'm sure there are tons of Angry Birds type games, right? People just want something different after a while. They want some variety, whatever it is. So there's going to be room for everyone. And I know that sounds um impossible or what have you, but I don't know, just the way that it is. and it is going to go back to being a case where like it's it's back to being popular because it's popular, because it's good, because it like delivers value, as opposed to it's popular because somebody spent more money on marketing and their stuff looks flashier and that kind of thing. Um, looking flashy is not going to, I don't know. I mean, people still buy Apple products. So
Right.
I don't know.
Well, that's like what bothers me, and I think it relates to. Can I share your screen? See this
Oh yeah.
agentic inflection? Like, what's been bothering me is like the the AI Daily News uh, um, that I listen to. Like, he's opened up like a claw camp, and it's got 5,000 users in it, and he's calling it the clawification of AI. And I'm like, first of all,
Yeah.
like OpenClaw, like I'm confident that I'm building in the right place. Like somebody else gonna create something else like in a month or two.
Mhm.
And by the way, like Claude is already like doing its own thing, right? So like, do you really want to like latch on to that narrative? But all it is, it's like when I saw this in the in the waiting area before I shared it, it's like this. It's like agentic flows and workflows are now out there. Like that's what just happened. Like OpenCloud did the thing where it's like, boom, oh my God, we can have these things just running all the time and access all our stuff and do all the things. That's like last year we were trying to do it via N8N and some
Yep.
people were doing it. We
Yep.
didn't like non-devs had a harder time getting there, but it was happening, right? And now it's
Mhm.
accessible. But it's the same thing, like getting to agents, like agents, like, is that what's
Well,
behind this that we're looking at?
this
Like,
is so what we're
it's
looking
the
at.
next step, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, this is the next step. I mean, this is looking at where we came from last year and what we're at this year. And I'm not even joking. Like, why I made a couple different versions of this, but why I love this one the most is because I think it really visually emphasizes the difference, right? Um, because I'm not even joking. Basically, left to right is in almost every case is like agent to orchestration, right? Last year to this year, what it was to what it is. Okay. So same thing we've been saying. We don't build, I don't know what developers are doing. I don't build platforms like user first anymore. I don't bother. Again, they're plugins to what the agent is going to be using. So if there's a user interface to it, that's fine. But it's literally treated as like I don't even bother essentially with the user interface. I only bother with the functions that are probably going to end up on it. And then it goes from there. And outside of that, it is designed, every PRD is agent first. It's design this because agents are going to be using it, design this in a way that agents understand it best, design this to be organized in that way. Nothing is designed for with the intention that a human is going to go back through the code and try to fix it or try to update it or make any changes to it. Like that's the way it is, right? Microsoft has said as much at this point. Like they don't really touch any of their code. Um, who else was it? Uh, the Spotify. They were like, yeah, we haven't. I think Spotify engineers said they hadn't touched code in like 3 months or something like that. They've just been telling Claude Code to do everything and then they review it. 2,200% lift on MCPs in terms of just connecting. Your tech stack has become one interface and you just connect to everything else because why not? Everything else, like this whole idea, right? Of Remember everybody was talking about dirty data, disorganized data, um, structured versus unstructured, all that kind of stuff. And then they forgot that the things that we're building are meant to replicate humans. So they're meant to look at unstructured data in the same way that we would look at it if given the right context. So realistically, it was just a matter of giving them access to all of the datas as opposed to trying to give them access to some of it and then attempt to have them understand the context to all of it, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, after being able to plug in, I mean, you look at Claude Cowork now, and it's just it is like it operates differently than Claude Chat or Claude Code. Like it has a very intuitive. I'm doing this in an effort of collaboration feel to it. Um, Google AI in terms of oh yeah, nobody's going to use the overviews. Nobody's going to trust that stuff. It's AI garbage, whatever. All right, 50% lift in 1 year. These are the good ones, right? Like if it wasn't for and what's funny is that Replit held the title for just like a little bit, just a tiny space in the sun. Um Replit had it at 100 million, but yeah, 500 million ARR for Cursor. Fastest growing SaaS company in history. What is it? AI company that started 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. Old world, basic hammer, productivity tool wielded for human operators, right? That's the way that we're basically most people are treating AI now. It's like, hey, it's still happening. Write my emails, write my outbound, write this or that, right? Just update this. There's no like beyond. It's just the singular. And remember way back when I was like, man, don't look at it as a tool. You're making a mistake. Talk to it like it's a person because it's an assistant. You're supposed to work with it, right? That would have I would think that would have prepared people better for this moment. um, yeah, so most organizations are running some type of orchestration at this point. Like most organizations that are moving ahead, right? It's all about agent orchestration. It's not about this like one-on-one anymore. Again, it's a totally different aspect to how we're working with things as opposed to like, oh yeah, well, have a nice follow-up email written and yeah, now I'm going to go off and I'm going to do this part of it, and now I'm going to go off and I'm going to try to do the AI research part of it, and then I'm going to use that to do this thing. And now it's nope, lead came in, awesome, everything is just happening, and when your meeting happens, all your shit's just right there waiting for you. You didn't even have to ask. It all happened when the lead came in. There wasn't even any sales involvement. Sales didn't even have to go do anything. They go, their meeting is almost about to happen. They get an email ahead of time, tells them who they're meeting with, background, everything they need to know. They go into the meeting prepped and ready to go. After the meeting's over, they don't even do anything. The meeting was recorded. Everything gets taken care of for them. All the notes get filled in, the record gets updated, deal moves through the pipeline if that's what happened during the conversation, whatever the case may be. But the only thing that actually transpired was the sales rep doing what the sales rep does best and the system doing what the system does best. I know that you love this one the most. When I saw this stat, I was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna lose this shit." Because deploying and executing is spray and pray, right? Like the outbound tactics plus the AI bots plus your old sales equals bad
Yeah,
performance, right?
destroying the email channel, literally, before it
Yep.
has a chance to get good. It will get good. Like It's already getting good. But again, like, if you just apply the old principles to it, like, it's not, those outcomes are not magically, they're the same outcomes. Like, it's still a bunch of crappy leads that aren't qualified, that you haven't connected with, that don't trust you, that just was like, right place, right time, let me check it out. And now, like, nobody in that situation is in a position to be successful, including the AI, right? Like, whether it's the human or the AI asking the correct or the incorrect discovery questions, right? Like, it's mm. Like, meanwhile, it could be so easy. Like, where sales is involved, you just get to be present. You get to be
Mhm.
present in the space that you want to be present in. Where are the conversations happening that you get to act like Johnny on the spot almost every second of the day? Like, if you want to, right? But you have to want to. And that means getting rid of things like 2-hour call blocks where you're just going to be like, all right, let me get through this list. Instead, like, we know how great it is in response times and like just engaging on LinkedIn. You have data that says whenever this thing happens and we're there to engage, good things happen for us. Like, the data says that,
Mhm.
but then you can't get yourself to just always be ready for that because you're over here doing old stuff or setting AI up to do old stuff and then getting mad at AI about it. Like, and so then you start doing the old stuff again. Like, oh man, B2B marketing, B2B sales, still bad. AI just makes it go faster.
Mhm. Still not solving the problem by throwing AI at it without actually changing what you're doing behind it, right? But this is the one that I think, what I think we both love the most, um, which is the fact that, you know, out with the old, in with the new, right? If machines are doing the heavy lifting, and that's all I'm seeing, I gotta tell you, you guys kind of outed yourselves, right? The technology was going to do it anyway, but then nobody wanted to talk about it. You didn't want to publicly say anything about like, well, like and I mean, I was part of the organizations where internally it was very hush hush, and we're not going to say anything unless the client brings it up. And if the client brings it up, then we're going to speak to how we use it. And when we speak to how we use it, we're going to say that we use it as verification only, which is like saying we still do everything the old way, and then we waste more time using the new way. So it's almost as if you were telling your clients that you added more time to the table as opposed to like saved them any sort of time, right? Then it started coming into like, oh well, we are using it, but we verify what it is that the output happens. Okay, well, all right, well now we're saving some time, but there were no reflections of that. I don't know any agency that like restructured or like put out a new book on like, hey, here's how the new timetables work based on AI. Here's how you should be charging people. I haven't seen like a new wave of agencies that do, billing differently based on time, like all that kind of stuff. I haven't seen any of that. And now, what I read all the time in post after post from marketers is all the heavy lifting is done now with AI. So I get to spend time doing blah, blah, blah. And oh, well, I'm focused on this now because all the heavy lifting gets done by AI. Well, boy, that sounds like a lot of time savings to me. And if you're able to get more done, that also sounds like you're able to either work on more parts of the project and or work on more clients in the same amount of time. So now it seems really ridiculous that you would charge somebody for the time that you're spending on something when it doesn't take up as much time. And especially if you're sales, I like that's a weirder one still because like I just described the fact that You're pretty much just down to like a phone call and a meeting. Maybe you review some stuff afterwards, but outside of that, I mean, like, that's what you're really good at. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like, oh, it's nothing. It's just a phone call and meeting. No, it's super. I'm not good at it, and I don't know shit about trying to sell stuff. So like at different scales. Anyway, so the point is, if you're talking about having saved all this time, then you have to change how you are pricing what it is that you're doing. You now have to price based on value. You now have to say, okay, since it's easy for everyone, that's the other part. Everyone can get it done. If one person can get it done in XYZ amount of time, every organization can do that. There's nothing that the one organization did that the others won't be able to duplicate. I'm not joking. There's nothing. I don't care. OpenClaw happened. Everyone had it the next day. Like, well, everyone that is in our circle had it the next day. Maltbot came out, 100,000 people subscribed to it in 72 hours, right? Like, it's beyond lightning speed. The stuff is just insanely fast, like how quickly it blows up. There is no like, oh, I'll just wait, right? Because I can tell you what's coming over the tsunami that I've been talking about, and what's coming over the hill is a wave of 1 and 2 person agencies, if not 1 person agencies, if not 0 person agency. And the 0 person agency is on the heels of the 1 person agency. It's really scary right now. I'm not like, from a scale point of view, it's crazy to me, especially because, I'm starting the same venture with a friend of mine right now. And it is really crazy to me how much of an organization can get done. I mean, like, you're talking about electronic paper pushing. It's really easy. I'm sorry, like, I don't know what to tell you. It's real easy to go. I treat it like, president and their cabinet members. I might not know all of those things. I'm not saying that I'm great at accounting. I'm horrific at accounting. I'm not saying that I'm great at like, project management, all these other things. No, I'm not. But I'm good at what I do. And what I do is research and development and engineering. And I can use that to go research, develop, and engineer all of those other departments and all of those other people as agents to an nth degree, to the point where they are so skilled that when they help me, it's utterly ridiculous. And I know it's that good because, yeah, it's still going to be a bit, because we've got to switch the DNS over now to a new business. It's no longer a personal pet project, but Hub Helper Harry is ready to go live. Now I just need to change ownerships. I was not expecting a sale this soon. So nice, awesome, really I'm like super excited when that drops. I really can't wait for it. But even in that case, right? It's, I don't know. It's crazy to me to be able to have a 2 person agency that can do like at least what we're trying to do, and it seems fully plausible to me. And I'm not entirely sure what other people are going to do about it, and I don't really care. So like one bit of big news is, and another new is that myself and Will Scrivener are starting a new venture we're calling Proven Labs. And the entire idea behind it, and I really, it was kind of funny when it came to the process of developing it. It was really nicely organic, and where it fell into place was where ideas become proven products, right? Because it's this whole thing of like, everybody's going to have this capability. Everybody is going to be able to make their fantasy into reality. So it made sense to, have a place where we could do that for people. And then another aspect of what we're doing, which we're going to try to build out at the same time, but it's going to be maybe, what's nice is to be able to say like, oh, it's maybe going to be like 2-3 weeks from now. is is a virtual community where we're also going to be able to educate, host, and develop for builders and help them to garner uh, jobs or get their products off the ground as well. And the entire idea fell behind a Penrose triangle and the idea of this like it's impossible, but it does exist because you can see it, but you just can't ever make it. Right? It's like this constantly. It's like a forever unicorn or something like that. Like just this thing you chase after, but can't really ever get your hands on. And to me, yeah, I it's a great venture because it is sort of taking that idea of like, okay, well, what can two people really do at this stage? And to be honest with you, I don't really see any roadblocks to what we're doing. We've talked to a number of different people already who have told us like how different the business model is to every other business model. Fully understand that. Um, Essentially, if I had to break down what we're doing, and I don't know how detrimental it will be. I know it's going to be pretty significant, and I'm really sure it's going to be like the new SaaS business model. If I had to take a guess, but essentially, we are a multi SaaS company. So we don't just ship one product. We ship whatever product it is that you need for your business in order to get done what you need to do. Because every company is using some software that either doesn't do what they wish it could do because they're the little guy on the chain and the software company is too big, so they won't actually make the update they need. So they're just stuck using this horrendous software that they don't want, or they paid a ridiculous amount of money to upgrade to something so that they could get two features out of the 100 features that the upgrade came with. But they had no other choice because they were already stuck on the platform. So now they're bleeding out money that they'd rather not be spending, but they don't have another choice. Or you have a very simple field problem. Maybe it's something in agriculture, maybe it's something in city, maybe it's something in development, does not matter, where people are still writing stuff down on paper, they're still keeping stuff on spreadsheets, whatever it is, and you wish that they could have just a simple, quick push button app that would help take care of all those situations and tie all your systems together and all that kind of thing. Same deal, right? The idea is why bother going to a big box software company and trying to make that solution fit your need when we can just build the solution that fits your need and you just walk away with it, just like any other product, right? So instead of software as a solution, like it has to be this like monthly service type deal or something, or like software as a service where like again we have to be with you forever and tied to you forever and we can only make money if we ever do that. It's more like software as a product, right? Where we just build you the solution and you go about your way and we tell you what the value is, right? I'm sure people are going to say, well, how do you price that out? How do you figure it out? Well, we know what we're worth, and you tell us what your problem is, and we'll tell you how much it costs to fix it. And if you like the price, then we do business. If you don't like the price, I'm sure you find somebody else. It's just like the old days, right? And if you like what we do, then you're going to be buying from us. But otherwise, I'm certainly not going to tell you, oh, it's going to take XYZ amount of hours. And it takes XYZ amount of hours to do this, and we need this many hours to do that, and I need this many hours. Nope. It's just going to be what's the problem? Let's talk about how many systems are involved, what your needs are, this, that, or the other thing, what the time frame is. All right, let's come up with a reasonable price. Crazy. I know it's so crazy, right? But when you have AI and you can produce like I don't know how many platforms I'm going to build this year. I know how many I've already built. I don't know how many others I'm going to build by the end of the year, but it's going to be a lot, right? My goal is to like ship 100 by like well before the end of the year if I can. Shipping my first hopefully in the next week, and it's not even Triple H. Like, so Triple H is going to go live soon. That's going to be 2. We've already got 1 platform that we're building out for a client that we're going to be finishing up soon. 3 is going to be the proven CRM product, more than likely. And that's what I kind of like about it, is that like everything just kind of like becomes proven. So Proven Advisor is going to be another tool that we're going to be working on, which is basically going to be helping advisors when it comes to offboarding people from work altogether, right? Like whenever somebody's going to retire or they're going to sell their business or something like that, CPAs usually have to go through a huge process in doing that. More often than not, they don't have their whole world of software is kind of effed up altogether. So it's things like that where it's like, okay, there are these markets that aren't getting serviced because big box doesn't want to touch them because maybe they don't have enough money or something like that, right? Okay, well, now there's a solution to be able to go in there and fix it. So we're just going to go do that. Right. I think I don't know if this becomes the future of SaaS. I don't care. I just know that it can be done. I know that we can do it. We are doing it already. And I hope this is sort of what the future ends up being like, right? I think I like to think of it as software becoming the equivalent of, I know this sounds really silly, just, once you start putting it into like RPG mechanics, it makes sense. Like software is like the new tailoring, right? Like everybody's really good at it. Everybody has the same recipe book. Some tailors better than others, have different styles and all that kind of stuff like that, right? So to me, it's totally fine. We talk about the world of CRMs, and we were saying at the beginning, like, is everybody coding their own CRM? No, but if you're a small business, yes. And are you
Right.
going to buy big box? No, because you're just going to keep upgrading your own stuff as you go along, right? Like it's you can't. I don't know. HubSpot, I'm throwing you a bone. I'm trying. Been trying for 2 years now. Been throwing you AI bones like no tomorrow. You're never going to be able to replace a CRM that learns about you from day one and just keeps learning organically as you work with it. So if so in I'll just keep rolling with it. So in our business, our CRM is organic. It's an agent driven CRM that takes care of everything. I don't organize records. I tell the agent what to do. The agent goes and organizes the CRM. That's its grid. That's its world. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to mess with it. Right. The CRM obviously is different from your email software and all that kind of stuff. Right. But at the end of the day, it's just an organizational structure. Right. My agent at the same time knows my business. So not only does it know my business, it knows where everything for my business is now stored. It has built the scaffolding for it. It knows it better than I do. So when it comes to what's going on down the road and am I ever going to upgrade my CRM? No. I'm only going to ever tell my CRM, time to build out a new section, buddy. We've expanded the business and we've got more business, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? I'm talking to my CRM. Why the hell would I go buy big box? It doesn't make any
Right.
sense. It doesn't compute to me. Like if I do get HubSpot, it's as a plugin to my CRM so I can do HubSpot stuff. But it's not like, oh, I live on HubSpot. I need it. It's my home now, blah, blah, blah. No, my home finally after decades, my home has become my PC again. And it's not somebody's fucking remote online server. Like that makes me feel so good. I've been like that feeling of being able to run everything local and have it be fast and not have to worry about this like lag, whatever it is. I got to use somebody's, whatever cloud software system and all that kind of thing. Man, the amount of times that I have lost it over a cloud software not refreshing properly or bugging out or whatever the case may be is just, it's utter insanity. Um, and now to be in a space where I don't need any of that, and I'm never really going to need any of that. And the only time I actually do is when I'm solving problems for other people, really. I mean, I set up everything today for the business through the CLI. Like, yeah, I had to go start, I had to go set up Vercel account. I had to go set up Superbase. I had to go set up the accounts, sure. But then all of that stuff is installed in my machine locally, all of the control panels for it. So I literally just tell Aries, like, hey, we're migrating over to the business stuff now. So here's the SSH key for the old one. Here's the SSH key for the new one. Move the shit over. 4 hours later, everything was moved over, including environmental variables, everything just boop, swapped over. Everything's all upgraded, taken care of. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. And
Went in, created new Superbase projects, replaced the Superbase links, all of that, right? All the native things that you would think of in terms of migration, it just went and did it. No problem, right?
Yep.
The platforms were just plugins. I didn't have to go touch any of it. If I have to go touch, like now, when I have to go into somebody's, like, it's a little weird. It's getting weird, man. If I have to go,
Right. Feels
it
like
really
you're
is
doing something
getting to the
wrong.
point where if I have to go click around, it's starting to feel weird.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, like you're gonna, like, the idea of upgrading or whatever, it's like you're just gonna talk to it. Like at some point, it's just gonna, I mean, this already happens in
Yeah,
in
makes
the
suggestions
in
too.
Cloud Code. Like the model gets better, adds in agent teams, and then all of a sudden agent teams are getting used like to do things better, right?
Mhm.
And when you can see that happening, like, sure, there's an opportunity to say like, hey man, I see you can do this now. How does that, like, what else can we do with our
Right.
CRM now, or with our platform, right? And that's where, especially with the SMBs, like anybody who's saying you should not do that is completely missing the 50% adoption gap. And like when this shit just doesn't work for whatever reason, whose ever fault it is, totally irrelevant. When it doesn't work from day to day, and there's a big bill at the end of the month, the end of the quarter, end of the year, like people are gonna try. And when people are there to guide them into the command line, all of a sudden, every problem that comes up during the day is now solvable in a way that it wasn't before. And those kinds of things add up to be like, all right, let's I could get used to this. How do we systematize it, boss? Like that's all it takes. And that's the opposite, because it's either solve the problem like that or don't solve it. Because the way it's been solved with finding the right agency partner and then going through a 3 to 4 month discovery process, like people are done with that. They're saying it directly in their help requests. I don't have time for that shit anymore.
Yep.
Right. And doing it the old way, that's the unfortunate part. Like if you want to work with a completely different company to do complicated shit in your CRM, they need some time to understand your business. Like that's what it is, right? Like there's no way to shortcut that if you choose to not do this stuff yourself.
Right.
The cool part is in 2026, you can do it yourself now. Like point blank. No um no qualification of that statement. You can do it yourself now. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, right? And like
Right.
Nico's going to be there to be like, all right, yeah, you could do it yourself. It's going to take this amount of time. You're not going to, it's going to be a while before you get it right. Or you could just hang out with us for a minute and bam, done. Right. And do it in a way that it's not like, oh, but if you don't do this or this, you're going to have to come back to us and we're going to make all the monies off of you not being able to do it yourself. Like, no dependency situation. It's like, yeah, if you want more of that, like that, you can come back and get more. But here it is all out in the open, done. Like, this is how, like, you watch some of the content right next to this stuff.
Right.
It's like, oh, by the way, this is a question that you need to ask if you just want to keep doing it yourself. Right. Like, I've had a couple of clients where it's like, we're building UI extensions in HubSpot.
Mhm.
And the moment that they choose to get AI native activated, it's like, all right, we're going to finish the ones we're working on. And then if you want to do it yourself, here's how, right? Like, because it's that easy. And it's as easy as saying, go look at these links. Here's the screenshots of what we did before. Here's the code. Like, we're going to do it like this time. It's, if you're working with somebody who's not doing that for you, they're withholding value because they don't know how to change their business model otherwise. Like,
They would rather sit there and play the old game than do what's right,
well,
especially like
Nico, I got a payroll, man. Like, that's the most, oh my God, I get it. I get where it's coming from. It is not a justifiable excuse, folks.
no, it isn't.
It's not, right?
It ain't broke. It ain't broke, Chris. Why do I gotta change it? It ain't broke. Come on, man.
Right, it's been
Come
broke for
on.
25 fucking years, folks. Like, you never solved it. Like, for most businesses, SaaS did not solve the problem.
No, it didn't. If SaaS solved the problem, I'll put it this way. The whole point behind Proven Labs is kind of just that. Instead of you having to like it was tech stack reimagined, right? It was, hey, what if instead of you having to use these like 4 or 5 different platforms, what if we just built you your own platform and connected it to all your other stupid services that you hate dealing with independently, and we made the UI have exactly the controls that you needed for it to do exactly the things that you needed to have happen in those other systems, so that everything could still go on the way that it does, but you could have like the highest quality of life possible as an end user for your product. And there's like zero onboarding because it's designed by you, developed by you, like everything is exactly the way you want it. We can even change the UI depending on the type of worker that it is. So maybe somebody in a different department needs a different UI and a different layout. Totally fine, right? Why should somebody have to suffer UI, whatever it is, degradation or whatever you want to call it, just because of the fact that like, well, this is the software we picked, so hopefully you guys want it to be this way. Nope, nope. That's the dumbest stuff I've ever heard of. We don't have to do that anymore. Game's changed, and I know like software companies are probably, oh, you can't do that. Yes, I can. There's nothing that says that I can't, except for you, and that's it. Like, and thankfully, there's no laws of design. So, oh well, gonna design them however we see fit and however it best suits the client, right? And in terms of like security and all that kind of stuff, yes, obviously, like we already started filing for SOC 2 compliance. Like we have several SOC 2 compliance agents already built that do nothing but literally hover over the repos, and every single time a change gets made, they go through and make sure that whatever just got made actually matches up and aligns with compliance, doesn't break any rules or anything like that. The way in which we handle data, everything. What's really nice about today is that even how your data gets handled ends up being almost instantly compliant, just so long as you let the agents handle your data for you, right? Like, at any rate, um,
because they're better than
Yeah.
you at managing your data. That's why you do that, folks.
It's like, yeah, that
You're
and
not gonna get good at it. You don't have to. Why
it's not
would
that you
you?
can't get good at it. It's just that, like, the efficiency is never gonna get there. Even if you were, like, really good at it, it doesn't matter because you're wasting time by doing that thing that is necessarily time wasting, right? If you're good at that, but, you do other things and you just spend a lot of time doing that, but you're so good at it that, like, whatever, don't it's whatever. Like, honestly, just get used to the fact that these like, so when people ask me, like, all right, but what happens, right? What happens with the jobs and stuff, like, uh, you know it's all in how you want to approach it. Okay. um the stuff with Hollywood, if you've seen the Brad Pitt Tom Cruise video, okay, have you seen that yet?
Uh, I've heard
If you
it.
haven't,
I've heard about it. I
oh
haven't
boy,
seen it
here
yet,
we go.
though.
I love it because it is very, very good. And it's
That's the
definitely
fight scene from when,
shocking.
what,
What's that?
Seed Dance?
It's actually a a video that somebody, like, put together, um like an AI video that somebody put together. I'm not sure if there's, like, an actual scene that it's from or not. But
Oh, right. No, this is from when Seed Dance came out, right?
oh, okay. Yeah.
You killed Jeffrey Epstein, you animal! He was a good man! He knew too much about our Russia operations. He had to die, and now you die too.
Voice wasn't that great on that. I'll give it that much, but um
Right.
it was yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't uh realize that I had that second clip on there. Um but that's the clip that was, like, shocking Hollywood to its knees, and everybody's just like, "Oh my gosh, like, what are we gonna do with actors and all this other kind of thing?" And what's funny to me is, like, everybody's talking about actors and stuff, but nobody's talking about CGI artists, right? Because it's like that whole thing happened, and you didn't need a single CGI person to be present either. So there's that, right? Like, it just kind of replaces that entire industry necessarily. I say necessarily because if you're a really good CGI artist, then you understand what looks good and what doesn't. You understand what type of lighting is needed and what type of scenarios. I know this because I way back in the day I wanted to do this as a profession. Believe me, these people obsess over the way everything looks. Like, that's your job. You obsess over reality and how everything in the machine looks by comparison to reality. And if you put this kind of technology in that person's hands, it's going to be amazing and it's always going to look amazing. So, in reality, if people looked at it with the right lens, what you're really looking at is the possibility of thousands and thousands of more movies getting made because of the fact that now these artists have the ability to render in near real time CGI effects for whomever, right? CGI artists might not have the vision of directors, but there are people who are directors out there that don't have the opportunity. There's plenty of screenwriters who wish that they could have wish that they could have their stuff directed. There's plenty of people who write plays that wish that they could have their stuff turned into screenplays, whatever the case may be, right? And all of that stuff is now actually possible. All of those stories are actually possible to tell. So I don't understand this whole thing of, like, all of these jobs are going away because to me, it's like, I don't like, there's just more of them. All the people that wanted there to be more opportunity, now that's actually possible. And now we actually have the means of facilitating it, right? All of this orchestration, the only thing that it does is allows you to actually facilitate as many people as need the whatever it is, the service or the product or whatever it might be. We talk about all the time. how business never, there's always more to be done, right? There's always something to get done in every
There's
business.
always more
It doesn't
opportunity.
stop,
Like,
right?
it's just about
So
how creative you can be to leverage the opportunity that's there. Like, and if you're focused on risk and scarcity, it's going to be harder and harder for you to realize the opportunity because the activation speed of AI and working with it, I mean, the person that's right next to you that chooses to use it will get the thing done. Like, and you won't,
in a heartbeat,
right?
and
Like,
that's the crazy part is if you choose not to do it, I don't even know why, I don't know why people fight it at this point or whatever the case may be. But if you're choosing not to do it for whatever reason, you're only doing yourself a disservice. You're really only like putting yourself back. You're really only holding yourself back from um, whatever it is, the job that you're trying to get, or the advancement that you're trying to make, or whatever the case may be. It's not going to happen just because of the fact that you are not willing to go along with this technology. I mean, like, it's the same as trying to tell me that uh, back in the 80s or yeah, like back in the 80s that it was going to be okay for you to move forward and get a job even if you didn't learn about computers. That's the equivalent to me. When you tell me that, like, oh, well, it's not that important, like, no, shouldn't be the be all end all to have to know how to use AI. I don't even understand what that means. I don't understand what that means. Like, it is the be all end all. Like, that's where everything is going. That's where everything is headed. There is no other way of putting it than to say, like, nope, that's the future. This is what the future is all about. So if you don't want to get with the program, I don't.
yeah. And like something that happened last week that like really just reminded how prevalent this is. Like, again, this has just happened this year. But when I work with anywhere from 5 to 10 clients at like coaching sessions each week. And the oldest person on any of the calls, so over over 60, uh, was the first person, and not a tech savvy person either, right? Like just the owner of a business, curious, was
Mhm.
the first person to ask me about OpenClaw, right? Like there is no like, yeah, people aren't leveraging it, but awareness is there. Like
Right.
it's harder and harder to find people who are unaware, right?
They're hearing about it through normal. That's what I mean. It's like normal channels are talking about this stuff
Yeah.
like regularly. It's not. I
And now that it's in the news, like mainstream everywhere, like that's the thing. Like this is what infrastructure change looks like. In
Mhm.
that trucking, example, completely different space than SaaS, right? It's just where you're seeing it, it's impacting every space because it is infrastructure, not for any other reason, but that it is a new layer of civilization that anything that touches civilization will be impacted. Like, um, yeah, even if you want to go off the grid, it'll help you go off the grid. Like if you
It's like even if you're trying to get away, it'll help you get away.
right, like, oh man. So embrace it, folks. Really excited to hear about Proven Labs and excited to see what you guys do there. No doubt there will be massive success, just because
It's everything.
The
All I can
old
tell you
way
is, yeah,
is not viable. It's just not viable. Like, you're seeing agencies struggle left and right, trying to create new frameworks around old business ideas, and it's just not working. And like, people are starting to solve those problems because it's getting painful to not solve them, like data, like we're not using this software. We've never been able to use this software anymore. Like, uh, it just the ease. The hard part is it's very easy to get in, and this is how we started the show. It's very easy to get in and start using it. But just because somebody else had success, right, doesn't mean you can go do that thing and then bring it into your business and then you're going to have success too. There's so many moving parts, but most of the people are not solving for the moving parts. So you're going to get into these conversations with people who say they can help you, and they're not going to approach it from this perspective of, yeah, you could do it yourself, and it's probably the best decision, right? They don't have business models that can support that kind of conversation. They need to be able to create dependency and suggest that you can't do it yourself, or that it's not a good idea. And it's just not gonna, it's harder and harder to defend that in these conversations. And again, now we can just go to AI, ask questions about those conversations. And hey, AI might tell you, like, oh yeah, that's the old way, like it's built, it's trained on that data. So it's like, yeah, this is how agencies work. And then you're gonna, but I've been experiencing where uh it's a no-win scenario for both parties involved, because it's very, in those situations, like, very rarely is it working with the existing context of right now, right? And you're trying to force the square peg in the round hole, and it's not forcible anymore,
right.
right? So you're going to show up saying, I don't want to wait longer than a month to get value. We've got AI sitting here, but you look like, I liked your proposal, but I don't like the fact that you're asking me to wait until week 6 or week 8. And it's just how their business is built. So it's like, either they're going to try to use AI to speed things up without all the right context, like, or in a lot of cases, we're like, all right, not for us. Like, good luck finding your quick time to value. And you'll hear that enough as a customer, and eventually you'll, like, AI is there now. Like, you can go down that path, right? It just takes a couple of wins to say, like, okay, this is a new capability for my organization. And it's better to invest time and energy and resources into this thing than it is into continually outsourcing capability, like that could easily be ours. Yeah, like, imagine, I mean, I guess this is what internet, no, it's not that, but like, yeah, just stop. Just just learn. Like, I can't. Like, you shouldn't have to explain this anymore. We're going to continue explaining it, and we're going to continue showing and telling, because some amazing things are happening, and businesses are getting built, and new people are adding value. And we're just looking to help. So if you want to just rethink your tech stack just a little bit, because of course you do. Like, it's not working for you. One of the systems that you use is not working the way you want it. Guaranteed.
Yep.
Take
That's
control.
what we're aiming to solve. Like, that's the problem that we're, if nobody else is going to do it, and if people are too, because there's going to be businesses that are just not necessarily reluctant, but not everybody can, right?
Right.
So if you can't, we're here.
And it's like, and because of what we're doing, like, so at the Value First team, like we're taking two approaches. To you have the budget and you want to learn how to do this stuff yourself, like, and just build it into the infrastructure business. And that's AI native, shift, where it's not just like, it's getting leaders involved. Like leaders have to make this decision. It's, for me, it's just like saying, all right, we're a Microsoft shop. We're going to use Microsoft apps. And sorry if you used Apple products at your last job, but here you're going to have to learn how to use Microsoft, right? Gmail, Outlook, all of those situations where it's like, no, this is what we use for the business, right? Like I'm going to get people to the CLI, to the command line. That's how we do business. You know what? Before Slack, right? There's not a lot of DM conversation options in a business. So it was all email. And then this messaging thing happened, right? This is, yeah. So if you don't budget, understandable. Office hours, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Central. You can come ask directly. How do we do this? Nico, Chris, Casey, Ryan are there most of the time.
Yep.
Like and we're showing up this way because we want to solve the problems, right? Like everybody can solve the problem now. Like it's not gated. It doesn't have to be gated. So in between, if you want help figuring it out, that's where Value First Scoping comes into play. I just updated the LinkedIn page. Finally going to start promoting this brand. A lot of cool people, a lot of good people creating a lot of value across the scene right now. And yeah, I'm trying to make it happen.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. That's for sure. Progress every day.
Yep.
Until what's up?
Is that packing it in for this week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Until the morning.
Yes.
Value First AI Daily. Are we gonna get to see Hub Helper Harry?
What's up?
Are we gonna get to see Hub Helper Harry?
I mean, we can definitely show him in the morning. He is up and running, raring, and doing some awesome stuff. Already at the vibe coding stage and allowing for vibe coding. Have something very devilish in mind for like a high for a very high level subscription level to it, but I think it'll be well worth it, and definitely something to change the chatbot world altogether. I think we'll see.
There you go.
But yeah, very much looking forward to launching that publicly. But yeah, would love to show that off tomorrow and definitely catch people up on the drama, the AI dramas.
There we go. Yeah. So until the morning, everybody have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Nico.